right, folks. Got this Weil-McLain gas-fired steam boiler that we're going to be doing some maintenance on this morning. It's a Weil-McLain EG75. Let's just quickly go over some of the components. You have a steam main leaving the left side of the boiler. Why they didn't use that side as well during the installation process, I don't know, but they should have. And those should have came up, connected to each other, and on that end picked up the two steam mains coming down, picking up your equalizer, so you have equal pressure leaving and coming back. There's your Hartford loop T, which should be about halfway on the sight glass, and it's it's much lower than that. Our sight glass is right around here, but a little bit below my hip. And here's my hip, there's that. So a good solid, maybe about 7 inches. This contraption right here, this bad boy right here, that's your low water cutoff with the automatic water feed, sight glass, manual reset pressure control, 2 Vaporstats, so we're going to measure in ounces instead of pounds, pressure gauge, blow down valve, blow down valve, blow down valve, spill switch, automatic vent damper, which is kind of like in the partially open position, not fully open. Interesting. Let's see. See, it's partially open. Oh, or partially closed, should I say. Inside top of the boiler. Not too shabby. Boiler drain. I like to do a visual assessment before we touch anything. And under the hood, we have our gas valve, transformer, electronic ignition or intermittent pilot module. There's that rating plate. And the CP number is nowhere to be found. Why Weil-McLain makes it so difficult, God knows, but there's no CP number anywhere on this bad boy. So we don't know the serial number. It is what it is. All right, before we get started, we're gonna do a combustion test. See how this bad boy is burning. Gonna put that right there. Let's take some numbers. A little hot there. Let me take the glass cover off. So we'll stay right there. Yeah. Let's see what our numbers are before we get started with the maintenance. All right, we're at a stack temperature of around 380 degrees. Slowly climbing now, 392, 400 almost. There you go. Taking a look at our O2, we're at 5.2. Carbon monoxide, we're at 30. Gross efficiency of 82.6%. Our CO2 as 8.9. So we're going to clipboard this. We're going to print those results, and let's start the maintenance on the burners. Okay, let's pause that. Put this off to the side. Okay. Okay, let's remove the combustion chamber cover. It's going to be quite hot, so either use some good insulated gloves like these Vigo ones that I'm using, or use a pair of pliers, needle or something. Power is off. Our burners, they look pretty clean. We're going to be doing a couple things today. We're going to be taking out the burners, cleaning them, brushing them down, lubing them up. We're going to be checking the gas pressure at the gas valve, making sure that's where it needs to be, which is 3.5 inches of water column based on the rating plate. I guess I'm kind of fortunate that the boiler is up on cinder blocks. That helps with accessibility. I can easily look underneath. I'm going to use this 7/16 and 3/8 box wrench to remove the compression nut on the pilot burner assembly. We're going to remove the spark wire, which is the orange wire, and the white wire, which is flame sense. I'm going to get a pair of needle nose and grab it and pull straight out. Okay. Now let's take this burner out. And at a quick glance, it does look like it's similar, but this one has more discoloration at the end, and wonder if that is attributable to the dirt on the burners. That's discoloration there. It's excessive heat right there. All right, let's take a look underneath. We have a lot of, looks like, damage to the refractory. Let's get a little low here and see what's going on. All right, let me just get another little angle there. You can see the whole bottom of the heat exchanger. These are cast iron sections that are pressed together on site. We'll count from the left side of the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is considered a 7-section gas boiler. Let's clean the burners. I'm just using a wire bristle brush to clean that spark igniter and the flame sensor. Now we're going to take that same brush and brush the slats on each burner. And we'll put it off to the side and proceed with the other ones as well. All right, before I spray down the burners and reinstall them, I'm going to take a little piece of thermostat wire and put that into the orifice of each, well, to the hole on each one of these orifices. Make sure there's no cobwebs there. Any buildup in there is going to affect the amount of fuel that comes out of each of the orifices. I'm now spraying down all of those burners with WD-40. Acts as a rust inhibitor. Beautiful. Let that sit for a minute. And they're going to wipe them down with a oiled rag, which I have right here. Let's wipe down the inside of the cabinet. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the outlet pressure when the system's running. Make sure that matches what we need to be. I already checked the inlet pressure of the boiler, and that's where it should be. We're at 7 1/4 inches of water column inlet pressure. All right, all the burners are reassembled. Everything's lubricated with WD-40, wiped down. We just removed the plug on the outlet side, the test port, hooked up our digital manometer. Let's fire up. And as I suspected, we have high gas pressure. 4.6 inches of water column, and that needs to be 3.5. This is natural gas, and I guess that explains the crazy amount of heat right here. 4.6, 4.7, 4.6. Let's see if we can make an adjustment on this valve.
My wife was like, you know, when the thing turns on, a flame shoots out of the bottom of it. Because it was, you know, the burners were at the bottom. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound right, but whatever.
All right, I checked to make sure there's no voltage at both Vaporstats. We're loosening up the union on the line with the pigtail. Let's put that off to the side if we can. Beautiful. And let's dissect the piping here and make sure the pigtail is clean.
So you're supposed to do this every year, basically. To get
the pigtails, yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times guys don't do this because they're lazy. But
shit.
Yeah, it only takes a few more minutes.
Yeah. Because if it's clogged, then you're not going to know what the pressure of the...
Well, if it's clogged, then the pressure controls, you know, the pressure controls are not going to function properly, so they're not going to sense that pressure. But they did not make this easy. I mean, that's why they never do this. Hold back right there. Let's see if I can get that off.
Nice.
Okay. It's all about the leverage.
Yeah.
As they say. So once we get this out, we'll be able to...
Then you can spin it, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Well, they've been hitting the side of the cabinet with this T anyway, but...
Uh-huh.
No different today.
Exactly. How do you heat your house?
Hot water.
Hot water, okay.
Yeah, I have condensing boilers.
With oil or?
Gas, no, gas, yeah. Yeah, I will never buy a house with oil. And there's no gas available to it.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not clean, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I think we're gonna hit that. Nope. Okay. Way off. So when removing these things, there could be clogged pigtail, and you could get hit with some steam. And now let's make sure it's clean. All right. Our pigtail is clean.
Yeah, we don't have. I guess we have oil out.
All right. Let's get this pressure control back on. And if it was easy, I want to do it. Beautiful. All right, to avoid further scratching the jacket of the boiler, just using a channel lock to scooch it out and away. Put that right there. Beautiful. Let's clean off the nipple of the Mega Lock. Re-Teflon this, make sure that's clear, and put the gauge back on and the Vaporstats. All right, pigtail's clean. All right, maintenance is complete. About an hour and a half total time on site. All the burners, lower the cutoff, pigtails, combustion test before and after, and a general wipe down of the boiler. If you need service, scan that QR code. See you in the next one. Be well, God bless, stay safe.